Alright, all you listeners of the madness, welcome back to Under the Radar. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, the beginning of the show, besides having a giant oversized air raid siren that the maestro insisted we included for this special homecoming episode of the show, would also feature his little cousin on the guitar doing his own version of the intro for Under the Radar for this week. So we decided to go all out for this very special homecoming episode that only happens once every 6 years. So I can see the reason why the maestro decided to do that. And on top of that, before this show even comes to an emphatic close, we would once again like to thank Butch, because without him on that fateful cab drive night, Under the Radar would not exist. Name-wise, that is. We would have came up with something entirely different. So thank you, man, for that great idea that we ran with for well over 6 years. But besides thanking someone who gave a name to the madness we bring to you on a weekly basis, I think it's time for us to go ahead and check out what sort of interesting newspaper clippings we were able to clip out from this past weekend and beyond for a very special anniversary edition of yesterday's news. And in our first yesterday's news story, and in sad news from the world of wrestling, a man who was known to some in WWE as Luke Harper, but known to others as Brodie Lee, unfortunately died this week at the age of 41 years old. And I'm not gonna lie to you folks out there, this news really did break my heart, because Brodie Lee, besides being extremely funny, if you haven't seen him on Up Up Down Down, whether it be on the Madden tournament or during game beats or even for interviews that he would have, the man was absolutely funny, besides being an absolute monster inside of the ring. And not to mention was a former SmackDown Tag Team Champion, a WWE Tag Team Champion, an NXT Tag Team Champion, if my memory serves me correct, and was also a former Intercontinental Champion as well, a part of the WWE, as well as being a former AEW TNT Champion on their brand as well. And the fact that both brands were able to get together and do a lovely tribute with superstars left and right pouring out love and support for this great man in wrestling who was able to do great things in the ring like a cruiserweight. And trust me, if you've never seen this man wrestle before, one match suggestion I give you was a match that I do believe was on the Match of the Year ballot for the Indie Awards last year, along the lines of Dominik Dijakovic versus Luke Harper. Definitely check that match out, folks, because it was an absolute 5-star classic in my opinion. But besides all of that love and support we sent the way of Brodie Lee, who was a big man with a big heart, we here at Under the Radar would like to say on behalf of Brodie Lee, aka Luke Harper, may your work live on forever, and may you forever rest in peace. And in other news, and hopefully some news that'll brighten up the day of you guys and gals out there, for the Domino King, for his final piece before the end of the year, would decide to come up with another hit from Naruto Shippuden in the form of Pain, and would do so with the almighty push, with well over 42,699 dominoes for this said piece. Now, I do remember this bit from Chiseled Adonis and did watch the episode featuring Pain in Naruto, and the fact that he was able to resemble him in all those domino pieces, once again, good job, Domino King, and it's an absolute work of art you were able to come up with for this said piece for Pain. And for any of you out there who wants to go ahead and check out this beautiful Naruto piece for yourselves, you can head on over to the YouTube page of one man only known as the Domino King to check it out for yourself. And in other news, or more or less cover news of the music variety, For you fans out there who always wanted to hear another metal cover of Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper, well, OHP has you covered, and this time would be accompanied by none other than Addie Lane for this said performance. And in my opinion, next to the metal cover of Time After Time that Trust Company did, this one will definitely be one of my favorite metal covers of that classic song. And here's hoping by next year he's able to do a metal cover of, I guess the song by default, Wasting My Time. I would love to see if someone could do a metal cover of that with inside of a timepiece like they did. Because I got a feeling OHP would be able to pull it off too. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out this metal cover of a Cyndi Lauper classic, you can go ahead and head on over to the YouTube page of one man only known as OHP to check it out for yourself. And with that said, folks, wraps it up for this year's edition of Yesterday's News. And I guess with that said, we might as well head back to the music, and when we return, we'll be back with more under-the-radar madness than you can handle right after this. So don't go anywhere just yet, folks, and stay tuned